G'day guys, you're here with Jacob Skepis.
Josh Cakitaki.
I'll let him say it that time. And today we're going to talk about the physique contest prep and a number of issues that I see are very common in the industry with both coaches and competitors alike in terms of how they go about their prep. And before we begin, let's first define the goal of a physique competitor. Obviously, their goal is to get in as good a condition and the best shape of their life and then step on stage. And what this means typically is a reduction in body fat with the maintenance of lean mass. So maintaining their muscle mass while getting absolutely shredded. And their percentage of body fat will depend on the category. And we can break that down. And we have bikini competitors, fitness models, physique competitors, and then we have our bodybuilders at the top. So that's the goal of a physique contest, guys. And Joshy, tell us a little bit about peaking. What is peaking for a physique show?
So coming back just quickly to the goal is to look the best on that day, not the day before, not the day after, not for the week after, but on that day. And that's where peaking comes into it. So you might have gone through a 12, 16, 20 week diet, and then it comes down to that final few weeks where you really want to look the best on that day. So you're going to make a certain number of manipulations just to try and get that last sort of 2-5% best on your physique of looking. And that's where sort of the science and the theory and what is it comes into it.
So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're not going to go into it too much, but we just want to give you a general outline as to some of the common mistakes we see people make and how to ensure that you as a competitor or coach can go about this in the right way to make sure that you or your athletes are looking their best on the day.
Yeah.
So as Joshy mentioned, peaking is basically making a number of manipulations to your diet and training to enhance your physique. And the science and theory behind that is to, as we said, to look your best. So people will manipulate their carbohydrate intake and their water and sodium, as well as their training to some degree, to, fill out the muscles with glycogen and fluid, and to decrease what's called extracellular fluid. So all the water that's beneath the skin. And people go about this the wrong way. Plain and simple. They try to play God. They start introducing foreign supplements and diuretics, all those kind of things to the body, which can really cause more harm than good for your physique on that day.
Yeah. The whole point being, it's just peaking. So it's the last, again, coming back, it's
final
the last
touches,
2
the icing
to
on the
5%.
cake.
So I guess as a whole, as an overarching theme of this, if you don't look good a week, a week and a half, 2 weeks out, if you don't look ready then, this isn't going to help.
It's not going to help.
At all.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. You can't play God. So the science and theory behind it is to, as I mentioned briefly earlier, to get rid of any extracellular fluid and increase intracellular fluid. However, the human body is not that simplistic and will maintain homeostasis, which is balance and equilibrium, the minute that you cut out water
on an hour-to-hour basis,
minute-to-minute basis. So there's really not much you can change. The key is to get lean.
Yeah.
The key is to hit your target body fat percentage a week or two prior to your competition, and then don't change anything. The only thing that you should possibly be doing is a little bit of carbohydrate manipulation, and you can front load carbohydrates, which simply means having a significant refeed or a number of days refeeds depending on how lean you are at the start of the week before your competition, and then slowly bringing your carbohydrates down so that you're not completely depleted and look like a skinned rabbit on stage. and alternatively, you can do a backload, which is depleting your carbohydrates, making sure that your body is completely depleted of glycogen, and then slowly loading them up into the show.
I guess with that one, it would very much depend on
the size of the person.
Where you are in your career also. If it's your first show, you're probably not going to trust a backload that much because you don't know how you're going to respond.
And that's why, very good.
Front load's very safe.
Front load's really safe. So for those of you who are first-time competitors, front loading is a great idea because then you've got a bit of time to adjust and manipulate accordingly.
If you do go a bit too hard on the carbohydrates, you spill over, maybe you even put a little bit of body fat on, you still might have a few days
to catch up.
Damage control.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's where those of you who are more experienced can probably get away with a backload.
Just knowing your body.
Knowing your body. That's really important. And obviously these are things that you should be trialing prior to your comp. You shouldn't be doing these and going, hey, let's give this a whirl, hoping for that extra 5%, because trying to reach that extra 5% may bring you back 10-15%, and is it worth it? So
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
important risk to benefit ratio there in terms of which methodology you do choose. But again, don't try and play God. You know, if you don't have any experience in doing any of these methods or manipulations weeks prior, months prior, or years prior, and your coach is trying these things on you, be careful, question them, ask questions.
Yes.
If you're doing it yourself and you want to start introducing these things as your first show,
Practice. Take your
Practice.
Research.
Yeah.
Take your time. That's probably the big thing. Be patient. Take your time. If you think you need 16 weeks to get ready, take 18. Take 20.
double it.
Because
However
you'll
much
need that
fat
time.
you think you need to lose, double it. If you think you
so
need to lose
that
6
time
kilos,
to prep and do these things. Practice this maybe 3 weeks out, then.
and that's what
get
makes
it.
the process a lot harder as well. But that's what separates the winners from those who just compete. And we don't want you guys to be somebody who just competes. We want you to do exceptionally well.
Yes.
Because nobody competes to come last, let's face it. So guys, that's the physique contest prep. Really brief, really broken down, nothing too complex there. But again, common sense should
Keep it simple. Don't
keep
do
it
anything
simple.
crazy. Don't do anything crazy, especially if it's your first, second, or third, or early in your career. Don't do anything crazy.
And if you need any help, if you want any tips and advice, feel free to comment below, shoot us an inbox. Josh and I will be happy to help you.
Thank you.
See you next time, guys.